Hello everyone, and welcome back to more Sonic Colors for the Nintendo Wii. And in this episode, well, Eggman, would you like to announce where we're off to next?
Next stop, the Starlight Carnival. The sheer scale of our illuminated space fleet is sure to make you feel small and insignificant by comparison.
Indeed, welcome to World 3 Starlight Carnival. And this is the part where we would actually be unlocking the cube and the hover wisp. But, like in Sweet Mountain, those are already unlocked. By the way, I'm doing this LP. And also the world map music on this bit is bloody great. I would encourage you to listen to that in your spare time, as well as all the other world map musics. Especially for the next world after that one, believe me.
If you experience explosive decompression, please try to avoid staining the seat cushions. Those things are expensive.
Okay, and let's get Act 1 kicked off straight from the start. And when I say kicked off, I mean present you with this light show. Seriously, enjoy the scenery and music. Now this is the presentation. This is how you kick off a really good level, especially at the beginning when we all saw it was on the inside or something, then just bringing us out into this wide open space with these spaceships and everything. It's just great. Reminds me an awful lot, coming to think of it, of Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes, except of course less mischievous and evil looking. This is kind of more light-hearted and goofy, which is what I really like about when it comes to the overall world setting in Sonic Colors. I think they do a good job with that. After all that scenery though, we're now going on the inside, and here is where I kinda don't really like the inside of the Starlight Carnival spaceships, in my own honest opinion. It's mainly just because you saw out there I was dashing forward constantly trying to keep up with things along this road that formed by itself. But inside of it, it mainly just consists of blocks. Lots of blocks for you to go by, a couple of blue blocks for you to transform things. And I don't know, it's just a little bit sort of lacking in places. I feel like on the inside of the Starlight spaceships, what they really could have done is just added a lot more things that would make it a bit more appealing. This kind of feels more puzzly. And I don't know about you, but whenever I play Sonic, I don't really consider going all around blocks and places. I consider that more in like other games where I don't need to go super fast. Maybe something like Metroid. It works in that sort of game, but not on my Sonic. No way. Thankfully though, this section is coming to an end as we are about to skydive and go into the 3D section once again, because it just looks more visually appealing. You can tell that just by the background. It's such a pretty level, Starlight Carnival. In fact, I remember when people saw the screenshots of this area as well as some footage, some even generally thought this was being run on an Xbox 360 or a PS3. It's just that good, for Wii standards in particular. And now we come across this little 3D section, but it's some sort of mini-game. And I rather like this one, because it keeps you on your toes and gives a proper purpose for the boost side of things with Sonic. You see, there's these old enemies from Sonic 1 called Motorbugs making a return. And what we need to do is use our boost to move forward and try to bump them along the way. If you bump a whole bunch of them, you'll notice that my boost meter at the bottom left starts to suddenly gain more of it. And you want to do that just to keep it as high as possible. And now, pretty scenery and music. If you listen carefully on that bit right there, you might have been able to pick out Eggman's PA announcement. That was it in full. You see, this is one part that I really like the placement of the PA announcement. You get to listen to the whole entire thing whilst you wait being launched by this set piece. Whereas in all the other areas, because you're Sonic and you're going by super fast, you never actually get to listen to them in full, so it kind of makes a change that they managed to do it on that one. I really wish that they did that with all the other PA announcements, but, well, What can you do? It's too late now, isn't it? Oh, I also don't like these things. Right, watch this. So I get launched in the air for a couple of seconds, then I come down like this. Now, you might have noticed back there that I actually did a dash and went to the middle one. You see, when you play this for the first time, you're just going to jump onto the left one, right? And what that's going to do is it'll stop you for 2 seconds on the launch pad, then it will launch you into the air, and then it will bring you onto the right one. Then you wait for another 2 seconds. Then it launches you into the air again. And then you move down to the middle one. And then, like before, that launches you into the air after 2 seconds, and then you stay in the air for a couple of seconds after that, and it just feels like so much padding. Like, there was really no need to put that bit in there. It just kills the pace and everything, and it really frustrates me with those springboards. And they'll appear quite frequently, especially on the insides of the spaceship. It's quite funny, really, because they don't actually appear on the outsides ever. It's always on the inside for some reason. And that is Act 1 of Starlight Carnival. I do like the Act 1s of all the areas now, because they mainly just give you like a breath of fresh air when you go into this new planet or world, and you can be absorbed by all the scenery, and it's just a thrill ride to go through, and it doesn't feel too long or anything. It's just good design, man. On to Act number 2.
Remember, for your safety, please avoid, as well as never under any circumstances, as it is actually a living being and will bite your face off.
Oh, well, thanks for the caution right there, Eggman. Welcome to Act 2, though, where in this one, I do a thing that I talked about, like, before, that I wasn't able to do. Thankfully, I've mastered now, and that's using the spin dash move of the spikes. And believe me, this is really fun when you get the hang of it. It makes it even better. I mean, I like the spike wisp already, but now I like it even more. So watch this. Here I go doing this spin dash, and look how fast this damn thing is. I literally went zooming past everything. In fact, it feels kind of faster than how Sonic is when he runs at his maximum speed with his boost. It's very absurd. However, even though I do like using the spin dash move, you have to use it with caution. All I say really is use it in places where you know what is coming up in that. But when you do actually come across segments where you have no idea what's ahead in front of you, just take it carefully. Because the only way that you can activate the spin dash with the spike wisp is by pressing the boost button, holding it down. It also can be a fast way in order to deplete the gauge, making sure that it goes down a lot faster if you don't want to stick around and just collect a whole bunch of color bones. I do, but that's for the purpose of getting the best rank, you know? And it's also needed on this to be very careful in order to get these red rings. Otherwise, you will struggle. If you use the spin dash haphazardly and very over the top, you will probably not succeed with it. But you do need it on this bit right here, because this is probably one of the hardest red rings to get. These bombs explode so fast, and that kind of teaches you that there is a spin dash move to use with this wisp. If you don't use that, you will not get it, and you will plummet to your doom, because literally beneath you is bottomless pit territory. It's kind of odd in places. And that is Act number 2, all done right there. Yeah, that one didn't really go by that long. However, I feel like when you play through the act normally without the spike wisp, when you're trying to unlock it, because it actually doesn't get unlocked until the next world, it can be a little bit of a drag, considering there are cubes and everything, but, I mean, at least you have the cube wisp by this point, so you can just smash through it. So there is that, I suppose.
We seem to be losing pressure on level 17. Please hold your breath against the harsh vacuum of space until you pass out from oxygen starvation. After that, you won't care. Enjoy the ride!
Eggman's quite gruesome with all of these announcements, isn't he? Act 3, though. Oh man, I really like this one. And it's kind of weird because there are a lot of people that hate this act. Mainly just because of this slow springboard right here that follows you. But the one thing that I do love about the design of this springboard is that, yes, even though it does go by a little bit slow, if you carry on moving forward faster than what it is going, it will always follow you and stay up to date with whereabouts you are for your position. Meaning that you don't have to worry about actually going to this thing's speed. You can go at your own leisurely speed. In fact, you can even do an air dash, and it will probably still catch up to you. It might go slightly out, but you'll find in a minute or so why I really like whenever I do the air dash from this, that it just plays out really well. Not to mention that when you go up, you can literally just mash and go higher and higher on this thing, so that then you can reach places in order to get the red rings. And here's the part that I like the most. After doing this air dash, I am able to skip out a whole chunk of this. Most people tend to just use the spring going by it, but with the air dash, you're able to actually go outside of the zone and then use those platforms. If it wasn't for those platforms being right there, you probably wouldn't be able to do the air dash, because at least with that, it meant that I didn't even have to use the springboard at that point. I can just literally straight up use the platforms as my own way of getting through the level. And I like that. You know, that gives preference for how you want to play through the level. Gives me very strong vibes, actually, of the design of Super Mario 3D Land. Because that had routes where you could take the casual route, but you can also take the advanced route using Mario's advanced abilities. And it's kind of the same thing with colors, really. The casual route being the springboard, but the expert route being using Sonic's air dash to the best advantage possible. And with that, you can literally just fly through this act. And to me, this one never felt tedious, especially when the red rings are placed in positions that don't seem out of reach, or, you know, just like really quickly placed. They're all spread out evenly. And this level is just fun, man. What can I say? I loves it.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Please make your way over to the main viewing area where the Lightspeed Electrical Parade is about to begin. Oh, and that concludes the Lightspeed Electrical Parade.
Oh, God. Oh, great. We got another one of these things. Launch and begin. Never saw the point in that bit right there. They might as well literally, since it's a 2D level at the very beginning, just start me off from the beginning where the dash pad is, so then I just get launched into a thing. I don't really see the purpose in me moving slightly to the right, getting launched, landing on the dash pad, and it doesn't even like lead to a slope for me to run up. It literally just leads me to a wall and stops me dead in my tracks. Like, what is up with that bit? I don't get it. At least though, with all this, it does somewhat pick up here and there when we use this Frenzy Wisp after avoiding those giant balls firing those green things at us, which do kind of get in the way. Honestly, Act 4 I don't really like in particular for Starlight Carnival, especially for this bit right here. I mean, I make it look okay, but I've spent so long trying to get the damn Frenzy to jump because this bloody thing does not react well with your reaction times when you press the A button. I had so many moments where the thing just runs too fast at the beginning that I can't even react in time to jump up on the first platform. I mean, at least when it does get bigger, it slows down, but it just skyrockets so fast that you just can't control the momentum. Anyway, see y'all in episode 6.